Hello and welcome. Namaste from New Delhi. I'm Gautam Roy and this is Express News, the show where we get you the day's top 100 developments in a quick-fire format. Let's get things going. Now, during his two-day visit to Gujarat, Prime Minister Narendra Modi held a roadshow in Doordarshan city, which drew thousands of supporters, reflecting strong local backing ahead of key national developments. Prime Minister Modi inaugurated Indian Railways' locomotive manufacturing plant in Gujarat's Dahod today. It will produce electric locomotives for domestic purposes and exports. The PM also flagged off the first electric locomotive, paving the way for greener, faster and more sustainable rail travel. Prime Minister Modi also laid the foundation stone and inaugurated multiple developmental projects worth around 24,000 Indian crore rupees. Addressing the event, the PM said that the most remarkable project inaugurated today is the electric locomotive factory in Dahod. It's the first electric locomotive from this factory that has been successfully built. The PM also highlighted that another major achievement is that the entire railway network in Gujarat is now 100% electrified. He further added that India is rapidly advancing in the world of manufacturing, be it in producing goods needed within the country or exporting Indian-made products to the world. The Prime Minister has completed 11 years in office today as well. It was on this day in 2014 that Prime Minister Modi took oath as the nation's top executive. The delegation led by JDU MP Sanjay Kumar Jha along with other leaders interacted with the Indian community in Seoul, the capital of South Korea, and held several key meetings. Another group led by BJP MP Vaijayant Panda, including MPs from the BJP, AIMIM and other parties, are visiting Kuwait. An all-party delegation led by Kanimori Karunidhi, Member of Parliament, had a number of engagements in Slovenia. They discussed the overview of Pakistan-sponsored terrorism and India's Operation Sindoor against terror camps in Pakistan. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Shankar chaired the consultative committee meeting on the Ministry of External Affairs in New Delhi. Discussions were held on Operation Sindoor and India's zero-tolerance policy against terrorism. Minister of Science and Technology and Earth Sciences Dr. Jitendra Singh launched the high-resolution numerical weather prediction model Bharat Forecast System, developed by the Ministry of Earth Sciences in New Delhi today. Speaking at the event, the minister lauded the women inclusive team, saying, "We are not empowering women, but we are seeing empowerment through them." Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan has said that around 15 foreign universities will be establishing their campuses in India by this academic year. The minister highlighted this while addressing the letter of intent handover ceremony to the United Kingdom's Liverpool University in New Delhi today. The minister said Liverpool University will be operational from next year in India. On the 26th of May, the number of active COVID-19 cases in the country stand at 1,009, with 752 cases confirmed according to the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. The southern state of Kerala has the highest number of active cases at 430, followed by Maharashtra with 209, Delhi with 104 and Karnataka with 47 active cases. The Ministry of Panchayati Raj today organized a two-day national ride shop on rolling out of Panchayat Advancement Index or PAI or PI version 2.0 for the financial year 2023-24 in New Delhi. Speaking on the occasion, Secretary for Panchayati Raj Ministry Vivek Bhardwaj said that PAI has more than 100 indicators and it provides a comprehensive picture of social development. Indian equity indices ended on a positive note in the volatile session on Monday. At close, the Sensex jumped 455.37 points to settle at 82,176.45. The Nifty also climbed 148 points to settle at 25,001.15. Gold futures maturing on the 5th of June were priced at 95,665 INR per 10 grams on the multi-commodity exchange. Silver futures for the 4th of July, that's the American Independence Day maturity, stood at 97,782 INR per kg on the MCX. The Indian rupee, that's the INR, rose 35 paise to settle at 85.1 against the US dollar on Monday. Oil prices rose on Monday after US President Donald Trump extended a deadline for trade talks with the European Union, easing concerns about US tariffs on the bloc that could hit fuel demand. Brent crude futures rose 0.6% to $65.17 a barrel, while US West Texas Intermediate crude was up 0.5% at $61.86 a barrel. European shares rose sharply on Monday. The Pan-European Stock 600 index rose 0.9% after delay in US President's 50% tariff threat. Nippon Steel shares jumped as much as 7.4% on Monday after US President Trump threw his support behind a new partnership between the Japanese firm and US Steel. When asked about the potential acquisition of US Steel by Japan's Nippon Steel, US President Donald Trump on Sunday said the US would maintain control over the deal. India's Minister of Culture and Tourism, Gajendra Singh Shekhawat, is leading the Indian BRICS delegation at BRICS Culture Ministers meeting in Brazil. In a social media post, the minister shared glimpses from the dinner with fellow culture ministers of BRICS countries who've gathered for the Culture Working Group technical meeting. US President Donald Trump issued a rare rebuke to Russian leader Vladimir Putin on Sunday, saying he was not happy with him after Moscow launched a record number of drones against Ukraine. Responding to a question on the tarmac in Morristown, Donald Trump said he was absolutely considering increasing US sanctions on Russia in response to the latest drone attacks. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky called on the United States to speak out. In a social media post, Zelensky said that the silence of America, the silence of others in the world, only encourages President Putin. Lawmakers from European and Arab countries met in Madrid on Sunday to discuss the Gaza conflict. The talks were aimed to stop Israel's military offensive in Gaza. Speaking with the media, Spanish Foreign Minister José Manuel Alvarez said humanitarian aid must enter Gaza massively, without conditions and without limits, and not controlled by Israel. US President Donald Trump said that he is not interested in moving to textile manufacturing back to America, saying instead he was focused on big things like computer chips and tanks. Donald Trump on Sunday backed off from his threat to impose 50% tariff on EU imports, agreeing to extend trade talks until the 9th of July. In an audio speech to the nation, Bangladesh's Awami League leader Sheikh Hasina recalled her father, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and his sacrifice for St. Martin's Island and cautioned against potential land giveaways. French President Emmanuel Macron is currently in Vietnam on the first leg of his Southeast Asia tour, where he is positioning France as a reliable alternative partner to both the United States and China. Now, during his visit, Macron signed multiple deals with his Vietnamese counterpart, Long Kong, including agreements for 20 Airbus planes, nuclear energy cooperation, railways, bus, that is Airbus satellites, and Sanofi vaccines. This year's ASEAN chair, Malaysia, announced it would continue separate talks with Myanmar's military junta and opposed groups as opposition groups aiming to promote direct dialogue between the two. Myanmar's junta chief remains excluded from ASEAN since the 2021 coup. Malaysia's PM wrote to US President Trump about trade uncertainty due to the tariff threats. South Korea's liberal presidential candidate Lee Jae-myung said on Monday that if elected, he would work to restore communication with North Korea, including reopening a military hotline. Sri Lanka today is bidding farewell to legendary actress Marlene Fonseca, with full state honours at Independence Square in Colombo. Dubbed the Queen of Sri Lankan cinema, Fonseca passed away on Friday at the age of 78 while undergoing treatment at a private hospital. Japan plans to slash stockpiled rice prices to 2,000 yen per 5 kg and speed up distribution to tackle soaring costs. Rising prices fueled by extreme heat and tourism demand are a major concern for Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba's government ahead of the July election. US Homeland Security Secretary Christine Noem and US Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee visited Jerusalem's Western Wall, where early celebrations for Monday's Jerusalem Day holiday were taking place. Polling has begun in Suriname's crucial parliamentary elections. 14 parties are competing for power, including President Chan Santokhi's Progressive Reform Party. The coastal city of The Hague in the Netherlands is preparing to host the 2025 NATO summit on the 24th and 25th of June. Security measures will be tight, with all 32 heads of government from NATO nations, including US President Donald Trump, expected to attend. And taking a quick break at this point, we'll be back with more of those happenings that are taking place around the world in Express News. Just stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching Express News on DD India. Let's carry on further. Now, the Indian Met Department has forecast heavy rainfall and thunderstorms across several regions of Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andaman and Nicobar Islands and Goa, with warnings extending until the end of the week. Maharashtra is under a red alert for extremely heavy rainfall. Intense rainfall is expected in several districts including Pune, Satara and coastal areas like Konkan. A red alert was issued by the IMD for Mumbai, Thane and Raigad, signaling extremely heavy rains at isolated places. The Met Department has issued a heatwave alert for Rajasthan, forecasting that extreme temperatures will persist over the next 5 days. The IMD has also issued alerts for lightning and heavy rainfall in northeastern states including Assam, Meghalaya and Tripura. The warning remains in effect until Saturday. The medieval city of Mauritania's Ulata is being ravaged by desert expansion and heavy rains linked to climate change. The early arrival of the pre-monsoon season has caused daily rainfall in the Kathmandu Valley, prompting the Department of Meteorology to propose a monsoon preparedness and response national action plan for 2082 IBS. The plan will be presented to the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Authority on the 28th of this month, with extreme rainfall expected to affect over 2 million people across Nepal during this year's monsoon. The UAE set a new May temperature record, reaching 51.6 degrees Celsius for the second day in a row. The country is feeling the impact of climate change, especially as a major oil exporter. The UAE also recorded an average daily high of 42.6 degrees Celsius in April. The number of extremely hot days has nearly doubled globally in the past 30 years, highlighting the growing climate threat. Cairo's historic Heliopolis district is marking its 120th anniversary through exhibitions and cultural activities, showcasing its iconic architecture and rich heritage. At over 3,470 meters high, Gansu's Gahai Lake wetland helps replenish the upper Yellow River and is part of Gahai Secha National Nature Reserve on the Qinghai Shizang Plateau. Xiao Yin, a young farmer from Shangkong, is gaining skills in smart farming, including drones and modern machinery. He aims to be an expert in both farming techniques and agri-tech tools. Hundreds gathered in Minneapolis for a candlelit vigil marking 5 years since George Floyd was killed by a police officer. The event comes as President Donald Trump has backtracked on reforms aimed at addressing racism. An Aztec dance group performed a ceremonial dance at George Floyd's memorial in Minneapolis, marking 5 years since his death and honoring his memory through tradition and tribute. The Poppy Wall of Honor is back on the National Mall, paying tribute to US service members who died in war. Visitors had stopped to reflect and honor the fallen ahead of Memorial Day. Pope Leo XIV took part in a ceremony at St. John Lateran Basilica, officially starting his role as Bishop of Rome. The event marks an important step in his new papacy. Thousands of motorcyclists rode through Washington, D.C., marking the 37th Rolling to Remember tribute to POWs, MIAs, and veterans lost to suicide while raising awareness of mental health issues. Rain gave way to clear skies as Sydney kicked off its annual Vivid Life Festival. Crowds gathered to enjoy dazzling installations, fireworks, and rainbow-lit opera house at sunset. With temperatures easing, rare migratory birds like Gahai Lake wetland in northwest China have started their breeding season, bringing new life and vitality to the ecosystem. Around 30,000 motorcycle fans gathered near Dijon for the 31st Motor Legend Cup, Europe's biggest vintage motorcycle event. The Motor Legend Cup highlights vintage motorcycle as a living heritage, with organizers stressing the need to preserve them for future generations. Humanoid robots stepped into the ring in China, throwing punches and thrilling crowds with a showcase of advanced robotic box entertaining. Lima, the capital of Peru, came alive with color and laughter as clowns paraded and danced through the streets to celebrate Peruvian Clown Day, entertaining crowds with vibrant costumes and lively performances. Archaeologists discovered ancient rock paintings near Saima Lake in China's Xinjiang region, offering a glimpse into the life that is led 2,500 years ago in the Tian Shan Mountains. The 70th edition of France's Cannes Film Festival concluded on Sunday on the French Riviera. The final day was marked by the announcement of the prestigious top honours. Iranian filmmaker Jafar Panahi's film It Was Just an Accident won the festival's highest honour, the Palme d'Or. The film was selected from 22 entries in competition. Norwegian director Joachim Trier took home the Grand Prix for his film Sentimental Value, earning recognition for his heartfelt storytelling. Iraq's first filmmaker selected from Cannes, Hassan Hadi, won the Camera d'Or for his debut feature film, The President's Cake. Brazilian actor Wagner Moura won Best Actor for his role in The Secret Agent. He expressed his joy in a video call as he couldn't attend the ceremony in person. Newcomer Nadia Milleti won Best Actress for her role in The Little Sister. A French student and amateur football player, she was discovered while walking in the streets. The live-action remake of Disney's Lion and Stitch earned $304 million globally over the weekend, with $145.5 million coming from domestic sales. The final installment of Mission Impossible franchise, Final Reckoning, starring Tom Cruise, grossed $190 million globally, including $63 million from the US and Canada. The strong ticket sales have propelled Mission Impossible Final Reckoning to surpass the opening weekend of the series' highest-grossing film. American music icon Billy Joel has cancelled a series of global tour dates after being diagnosed with a brain condition that worsens due to recent performances. Youngest world chess champion D. Gukesh will face world number 1 Magnus Carlsen in the opening round of the Norway Chess in Stavanger City on Monday. While first-timer Indian Grandmaster Arjun Erigaisi will open his campaign against Wei Yi of China. In the women's section, Indian chess grandmaster Koneru Hampi will compete against compatriot Vaishali Ramesh Babu. Sports now, defending champion Carlos Alcaraz and world number 1 Yannick Sinner start their French Open campaigns on Monday. World number 1 Aryna Sabalenka sounded an early warning to her French Open rivals when she blew away Kamila Rakhimova 6-1, 6-0 in the opening round. Meanwhile, American France's Tiafoe breezed into the second round of the French Open when she beat Russia's Roman Saifulin. The French Open organizers paid an emotional tribute to Rafael Nadal. They unveiled a metal plate on the court Philippe Chatrier, bringing Nadal's footprint, his name and the French Open trophy. India's pair of Satvik Sairaj Rankireddy and Chirag Shetty will make a return to elite competition when they compete at the Singapore Open Badminton Tournament starting on Tuesday. The Punjab Kings will face the Mumbai Indians in their last league game of 2025 Indian Premier League, and the side that wins the match will guarantee themselves a top 2 finish. Sunrisers Hyderabad thrashed Kolkata Knight Riders by 110 runs in their final match of 2025 Indian Premier League in New Delhi. India's archer Prathamesh Fuge won a gold medal in the men's compound individual event at Veronica's Cup in Kamnik town of Slovenia. India's Narain Pranav and Khyati Chaudhary won silver, while Himanshu and Shambhavi Krishnasagar claimed bronze at the Shooting World Cup in Suhul city of Germany. Liverpool lifted the Premier League trophy at Anfield for the first time since 1990 with a 1-1 draw against Crystal Palace. Real Madrid has appointed Xabi Alonso as the new manager. Alonso returning to the club where he spent 6 seasons as a player and won several trophies. An Italian coach, Carlo Ancelotti, arrived in Rio de Janeiro to take over as Brazil's team coach after his departure from Real Madrid. And that's all we have at the moment in this edition of Express News. For all the latest, keep watching DD India.